All right, moving right along. The next step is to delete any unnecessary views that are in the template. Unnecessary views don't necessarily, strictly speaking, do any harm to leave in the project, but they clutter up the project browser. They make you have to scroll through more things that are necessary, and they can be confusing to people new to a project. They don't know what's important and what's not important. So we're going to go through here and we're going to look at some what you might want to delete and some tricks for doing so as quickly and efficiently as possible. So first, let's deal with those area plans. Remember, we had these area plans set up for projects that use them, but in this project, in this particular project, we're not using area plans, so we want to delete them. Now, you could go through, right, and multi-select, right-click, delete, but there's a whole bunch of them. We've got a number of these plans with area plans in them. So I'm actually going to use a plugin to delete them. I'm sure there's various plugins that will do it. The one that I use is Droots 1, so I'm going to go to that tab. I'm going to say View Manager. And I'm just going to do a search for any view that has the word area in it. And you could do a quick scrub through this to make sure that there's no plans for deletion that you don't want deleted. But I'm going to select all those. I'm going to click up here where it says Batch Actions, and I'm going to delete those views. Now again, if your firm never or almost never does projects with this type, you would want to go ahead and delete that out of your template so that you don't have to do this step on every single job. All right, so now we've got all of those area plans deleted. Now let's say that for this particular job, we don't have any fire protection scope, so we want to delete all of these. Now, instead of going in, this one's not so bad, but instead of going in and deleting these manually, if there are a whole bunch of different sort of views in here, I'm not going to delete electrical, but let's say I was deleting electrical because this was going to be an M&P only model. It would just take a lot of clicks to go through and expand this and select and delete all those. So that's when I would change the browser organization to one tier view sort, and then I can just find all of the fire protection, which I don't want, delete them. If I was doing that for electrical, I could just delete all these and that would be very fast. So that's that. I'm going to change this back to 3-tier view sort. And I'm going to look for any other views that I might know I'm not going to have in here. So I'm actually going to leave most of these on here because for the purposes of this video series, I want to show how all of these work. But for example, if I wasn't planning on having gas-specific sheets on my mechanical sheets, I would go through and delete those. If I didn't have any piping, if I didn't have any hydronics on this project, I would delete these so that they're not cluttering things up. 3D section, I would get this gas one out of there. I would just go through and clean up any things that I knew I didn't need. Same for plumbing, same for electrical. Right, we've got site power, lighting, power systems, and enlarged. I would just clean up anything that I didn't need, just to keep things nice and tidy. But because I want to have a sort of comprehensive overview of how all these things work for ME&P, I'm going to leave all those in there. But you do what you got to do for your project.